Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another edition of the League One Lowdown, where I speak to fans, podcasters, and journalists from every League One club. They get their thoughts for the coming season. Today, I'm joined by Joel as we talk about Morecambe. He's no longer suffering Morecambe fan, of course, in League One for the first time. He's also a football writer as well. Joel, thank you very much for joining me. Let us know, introduction into you as a Morecambe fan, how long you've been a fan for, and are you ready for League One?
Yeah, so how long I've been a Morecambe fan for? Since about the 2006-2007 season. I think I'm as close, in fairness, as you can label as a glory supporter when it comes to Morecambe fans, because that was the season that we were getting promoted out of the conference and we ended up making the playoffs and going to Wembley at the end of the season, which was great fun. And then, I've been a fan ever since, season ticket holder for many years until I went to university, but I'm ready to be a season ticket holder again now we're in League One. I've made a bit of an effort to get down to a few games. So, really looking forward to it. Obviously, absolutely buzzing with last season's promotion. It's a shame that we weren't quite able to enjoy it as much in person, but we got the days out in the playoff semi-finals, in the home leg, and then obviously at Wembley, which was quite something. I did nearly pass out with heat at Wembley because it was extremely hot, and we were in the half of Wembley that gets bathed in sunlight, which was, it was all worth it in the end, because it would have been quite depressing if we'd gotten sunstroke and lost. So it was all worth it in the end. But now looking forward to League One. It looks like an exciting league this year with quite a few historically bigger sides.
And of course, your first ever season in League One, and what a way though you want to win at Wembley, don't you, to get promoted? It's great to win the title, but then finishing second or third, because in League Two there's four places to get promoted, but you want to get promoted at Wembley. So let's talk about Morecambe. The standout player that, of course, left you is Carlos Mendes-Gomez, of course, joining Luton Town. But you've made a lot of signings. You've got a few loanees as well coming in, but you have lost a lot of players as well. Where would you like to start in terms of the outs and the ins? Who are the standout ones for Morecambe?
Yeah, I suppose you have to start with Carlos, don't you? But I suppose with him, I wasn't too sad when he left, because I've been mentally preparing for it since about November. We all knew he was going to go. We were just hoping that we had a contract extension to activate so we could get some good money for him, basically. But I think with the new manager coming in, I doubt he'll have ever really factored Carlos into his plans. He won't have gone into the season thinking, great, Carlos is going to be my player. He'll have known that he was going to be off. But, we'll take the money from that and, massage the playing budget a little bit with it. So he gets he gets a few more coins to bank, hopefully, from that. But it's a shame to lose someone as good as Carlos. But I think it's I'm glad he's gone to a decent club that I know that they'll probably have done their due diligence on him, and hopefully he can do well there and keep doing well and get us some more add-ons and sell-on fees. So that'd be good. But in terms of players going out, to be honest, it was quite hectic with us going up, and then about 3 days later, Derek Adams saying he's leaving, and then, but then you look at your Crystal Palaces and your Tottenhams and all that, and Everton and all the mess they've made of getting a new manager in, and we did it over a weekend. So I think we've made quite a good appointment. So I'm very pleased with the board. And then obviously from there, it was just all hands on deck. He has to come in, work, look at the squad from last season, try and get up to date on that, work out how he wants to keep, he wants to let go, chat with the assistant manager, and kind of work out their personalities as well. And it was he ended up letting quite a lot go, and I think that was just a new manager coming in. A lot of our players were on 1-year contracts. I think only 3 had them extended for this season, but through automatic options. A lot of them went. A lot of them were Robinson's choice to let go. I think that kind of does get missed. I think it's easy to look at our squad and think, oh, they got pillaged, but we didn't really. We got obviously we always knew that Carlos was going to get sold, and only one player we offered a contract to, I believe, didn't accept it, and that was John O'Sullivan. So it's not. I think what is worth understanding with Stephen Robinson coming in after Derek Adams is I think they're going to be quite different kinds of managers. If we kept Adams in charge and the squad had been pillaged, then I'd worry a little bit. But now in this situation, it's kind of good that Robinson doesn't have any players he doesn't really fancy that he's trying to cram into the side, because I think Derek Adams had a bit of that, and it can be difficult to manage. But yeah, we've made some good signings. McCalmont's a bit of a standout. Jones, the young lad from Hull, they really rate him there. Josh McPake from Rangers on loan. They're the kind of three big kind of name like loan signings there. They all look really promising. In terms of like permanent signings, we made some good ones. We managed to get Ryan Cooney permanently, which is really good. I quite like the look of Wes McDonald as a transfer. It's been obviously, I think consistency of output has been his problem at Walsall, but I think I was looking at some of the numbers behind him, and he's one of the better performing dribblers in League Two, sorry. And ultimately, we have to take gambles on people and hope that we can get the best out of them. But yeah, I think there's lots of decent business. Jonathan Abika, I think Anthony O'Connor's not a bad sign-in. Greg Lee, if we can keep him fit, he'd be good. So I think there's lots of promising business. It's just we've had to take gambles a little bit, and that's what we're going to have to do. But if we let the manager kind of build the squad in the way he wants and let him develop them how he wants, then I think we give ourselves a good chance of staying up.
And that's my next question. It's very early days in terms of the season isn't going to be starting until 2 weeks' time, and transfer window's going to have another month to go. But at this precise moment, what do you think for Morecambe? Can they survive? Can they stay up? Or as you said, you've got a new manager in charge. Do you think it would have been very different if Derek Adams was in charge? Do you think you'd be able to stay up if he was still in charge, or you happy with this appointment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one with. I think ultimately, I was chatting actually to a Walsall fan on another show. It was with Gabe Sutton, and he was saying that kind of pointing out the difference in League One and League Two in terms of staying up is in League One there were four relegation places, and obviously in League Two there's only two. And you can usually bank on a team to have financial difficulties, unfortunately. So that's effectively only one place a lot of the time, because one team you just drops off it. Either you have a Bury situation, or they just have a Southend situation. So you really it's not that as much of a challenge to stay in League Two as much, because obviously there's just less places, and you can get away with being quite a poor side. I think really quite a poor side, as I've seen in the years previous, and still managed to stay up. I think in League One, with there being a few more relegation places, I think we do need to show a bit more as a side. I think we need to be more than just kind of grinding battlers, hoping to get a win every few games to just scrape enough points to stay up. I think we need to think about developing into a decent footballing side. I know, we're not going to push that high in the table, I don't think, but we do need to build a half decent quality side. It's going to be very different football under Robinson than under Derek Adams. Obviously, I don't know how much you or any of the listeners know about Derek Adams, but obviously it was attritional. It was, I think, particularly exaggerated last season without fans in, because it meant that I think it was more purist. It meant that none of the players weren't feeling pressure to do something different. They were just nothing in the stadium, so they were just doing what the manager said, which was lowest possession in the division, but also highest chance creation. So and it worked. Would it have worked in League One? I'm not entirely convinced, if I tell you the truth. I think if we look at our performances in the playoffs against like Newport, and so early in the season actually against some of the top sides like Cheltenham, sides who can keep the ball a bit, and ultimately we kind of fell back very, very deep and deeper than usual, and really just kind of occasionally I think rode our luck a little bit, which is okay in a league where those are the two top quality teams in the league, and aside from that, you don't need to sit that far back. But again, in a higher league, I think we would have been doing that more often, and kind of potentially play the averages against ourselves a little too much. And obviously, the advantage with Cheltenham and Newport is they had pretty blunt strike forces. Even though they did well that season, they had pretty blunt strike forces, so we could kind of let them miss a bit. But we wouldn't be able to do that in League One. So hopefully, we could just build a bit more around this side and have a bit more about ourselves, and maybe just be able to take control of the ball in different periods a bit more. And hopefully, Stephen Robinson can do that.
And I'm going to use a phrase I don't really like to use, but of course Morecambe are going to be playing a lot of cup finals, as they say. We're going to places they've probably never been before. Town is one of them, Sunderland, Charlton, Pompey. There's so many big teams in League One. What sort of games are you looking out for? And of course, you'll be heading to Portman Road on the opening day of the season, Morecambe, to start your League One campaign for the first time. Was that one of the fixtures you went, wow, what a start? And maybe the best time to, I don't know, maybe not the good time to take on Town, because we've got new owners, fans are back in the stadiums. We're making a lot of signings. What have you thought of Ipswich Town, and are you looking forward to playing those sort of teams?
Yeah, I mean, massively looking forward to playing them. I think we had Portsmouth in League Two a few years ago, and even though they were great. If you ever Portsmouth to Morecambe is quite a long way, and they would pack out the away end, and it was great. And I've no doubt that your Ipswiches and your Sunderlands or your Charltons or wherever they're coming from, like, I think there'll be a lot of teams who will be selling a lot of pies in that away end. So income for the club, it's never a bad thing. But yes, I'm really looking forward to playing those a little bit. I think the fixture list, I'm generally pretty happy with it. Ipswich away on the first day of the season is good fun. I would have liked a home game, but Ipswich away, you can't really complain. Like you say, you never know with the first game. Maybe there's a feel good factor around Ipswich, and they can ride on that, or maybe all these new players haven't gelled yet, and there's a bit of and they feel the pressure from the home crowd. You just don't know. One gripe with the fixture list actually is Sunderland away Tuesday night. It's a bit grim because we are hoping to take a few to that one, and we want to try and boost our away support. But in terms of the transfer business by Ipswich, I've just got the transfer market list up on my phone. I've been having a little look, and I've really liked some of it actually. I was watching a few West Brom games a couple of years back, and I really liked that. Raheem Harper got given a couple of games in the Championship, and I thought he looked pretty good. Maybe they see him as kind of surplus to requirements if they want the push for the Premier League, and that's why they're happy to let him go. But I like Raheem Harper. Now he should be really good at League One level. Joe Pigott, obviously he's done well here. Scott Fraser obviously done well in League One last season. Although NK Dons, doing some business, aren't they? But I like Keith from Salford. He was absolutely brilliant in League Two last season. He's a proper good keeper, and it's an absolute crime he was in League Two last season. I mean, obviously we all know why, because of money. But he's a cracking keeper, really, really good. And also, I like Matt Penny. I remember watching Sheffield Wednesday a few years back under when they had Josh Lukai in charge, and Matt Penny was playing quite a bit then, and I thought he was quite impressive. He was playing like left wing back, left wing, left back, and they're all down the left flank. And I thought he did a pretty good job. I think he was actually probably one of the Wednesday players that did quite well out of that manager. But obviously he's been in Germany, hasn't he, or something? But I like him. I think he should be good for League One. I think they're all pretty good signings for League One. So it's just a case of making him gel. And Paul Cutt's got a good bit of form in League One, obviously, and he's a good manager. So we'll be interested to see how it shapes up.
Yeah, I'm interested. And Morecambe Town, it'll be very interesting. I think we have played you before in the FA Cup, I think back in the early 2000s. So it's not the first time we're playing you, but the first time in League One. Ipswich Town versus Morecambe. What do you reckon that game will be like? I know we've really chatted about it a little bit, but do you think there'll be goals? Morecambe, what sort of style of play? I know you've got a new manager, but are you a team that scores goals, or are you more you defend and hopefully score that nick one?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say really, but it actually is quite fun talking about Ipswich Town, because when we last played Ipswich Town, it was before I supported the club actually. It was in like 2000 or something like that, and it was like an FA Cup third round game, and Ipswich were Premier League at the time, I think, and when we were in the conference, and that was like, so for us to kind of journey from the point where we're kind of like, oh my god, we're drawing Ipswich in the cup, that's so amazing, to be in the same division as Ipswich. It's maybe saying that on to Ipswich Town fans, it feels a bit depressing, but to us, it feels quite uplifting. But on the opening day, I don't think we're going to be. I don't think it will be too much like Derek Ball. I don't think it'll be the kind of 30 to 40% possession, and then we'll just slice a couple of good moves at the pitch on the break. I think we'll try and put our foot on the ball a bit more in the game. I imagine, obviously, I think Ipswich will be expected to take the initiative, and I think. Especially, I think we've seen the effects of not having fans, and they'll probably, there'll be a bit of pressure on the Ipswich players, I think, to kind of take the game a bit more. I think there'll probably be a couple of goals. I think from what I've seen from the friendlies, we have looked to kind of take control and circulate the ball a bit more. That said, the only footage of friendlies I've been able to catch are I went to the Chorley game and I went and Workington highlights on YouTube, and obviously they're both non-league. I know we've had a couple of closed behind closed doors, but you can never really tell. But yeah, hopefully we will be able to kind of take control a bit more. We've got some good ball players in midfield. We've got Tumani Di Garaga, who is a footballing demigod, and
played for us briefly. He briefly was on loan at us.
Didn't he? Yeah, no, yeah. What a player! Oh, stupidly good for League Two, but just make sure we've got to rest him every few games, and then he's okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I reckon there probably will be a few goals, to tell you the truth.
I look forward to that. And well, Joel, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, all good. Yeah, just I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and yeah, all good luck to Ipswich apart from on that first day and whenever we play again. But yeah, I think I'm looking at some of the signings. I think it's probably to have a relatively good season in store.
Well, we'll wait and see on that. But there we go then, viewers. Hope you've enjoyed another edition of the League One Lowdown, this time covering Morecambe. I'll be back for another edition of the League One Lowdown very soon, so stay tuned for that. Bye-bye for now.